Welcome to The Foundry, where leaders are forged daily. And now your host, George Roberts.
Welcome back, entrepreneurs. Today we have Rama Krishna Chunchu, founder of Usha Investment Group. He's also a podcaster, conference organizer, and author of Creating Wealth Through Passive Apartment Investing. Welcome to the show, Rama.
Thank you very much, George. Thank you for this opportunity. Hope you're doing great.
Oh, yeah, doing fabulous. And thanks for asking. So usually we get started just by asking how you got into real estate. So I understand you are an engineer by training, and at some point, the world of real estate beckoned.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have engineering background and also worked in IT space. So somehow I thought I need to explore other opportunities, outside of IT job. So that's how I started with, real estate. So one of my college mates, and he started looking for, single family rentals outside of, East State, basically in North Carolina. So that's how I started curiosity into real estate, and I started into real estate space.
Great. And then you also along the way became an author, and I think that's quite a journey. So anything you'd like to tell us about becoming an author, the process of writing a book and getting it published?
Sure, absolutely. So initially I started my journey with single family side. So and also then I want to switch towards multifamily space because of scalability or economics of scale and management point of view, different reasons. So then I started listening podcasts or reading books and doing research in bigger podcasts and other websites. So then I started mastermind group and started working on understanding multifamily markets and underwriting, all those kind of stuff. It's taking a little bit more time to acquire first deal. You need some kind of track record and that credibility, those factors, right? So that's time I started my podcast, and also at the same time I started working on this Creating Wealth Through Passive Apartment Investing book. So before that, I invested a couple of days as a passive investor. I learned something from doing that. And also the main reason behind investing in passive side is understanding how these operators operating these multifamily deals and what is their communication process and how to find good operators, how to vet operators, those kind of stuff. That is the main reason starting writing the book and also sharing my experience to other passive investors in this space.
Yeah, exciting. And I think that is a great way to get started doing passive investing. And I noticed that your podcast, you also focus on both. So this is a podcast where you can learn to be an active investor. You can learn about passive investing. Would you like to tell us more about your podcast? Which, by the way, I noticed it looks like you just did, I believe, episode 311 is with Jeff Greenberg, who I will be interviewing tomorrow, by the way. Interesting coincidence. So you do this weekly. So it must be almost 6 years that you've been at this.
I started 2 years back to 2.5 years back. So earlier, I did multiple episodes per week, sometimes 3, and sometimes I went with 5 episodes also. So now I'm switched back to 1 episode per week, almost 300 plus episodes, multifamily AP 360, mainly focusing on 360 degrees views on mindset, active investing, and passive investing. My main focus is active investing side, but in order to be in active side, you need to have right mindset and also right kind of tools, right? So the podcast helps you interact with a lot of experienced operators in this space, active side and also passive investing side, understanding their experiences, this based on challenging experiences, what kind of systems they are following, what kind of processes they are following, how they are building A-class teams. So those kind of stuff you can learn by interviewing or inviting a lot of experienced operators. So definitely it will help me to network with a lot of people in this space. It will also help me building that credibility and learning from experienced persons.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely second that. I've met a lot of people and love the depth of the interaction that I get out doing a podcast. It's just for some reason a lot deeper than an introductory telephone call. So yeah, good experience. And then you're also a conference organizer with the same branding. So you call this the AP 360 conference. Looks like a good one. Unfortunately, you scheduled it on my wife's birthday, so I don't think I can come to this one. But tell us about the experience of becoming a conference organizer, all the things that go into that. I see you've got a lot of great speakers. I remember seeing 𝐻𝐿. I think Rob Beardsley is also going to be there.
Yeah, absolutely. So main purpose behind starting is like I benefited, attending virtual conferences or in-person conferences or meetups. So I want to pass that same kind of experience to other new investors or experienced investors in this space. So mainly these virtual conferences, this time we are doing for 3 days, mainly focusing on mindset, active investing, passive investing, 360 degrees views on this stuff. And also this time we are touching a little bit behind multifamily space also, like, RV space and, MHP and retail, commercial retail, and also a few other stuff, hotel, other stuff also. Mainly like, outstanding speakers, multifamily space and other space, speaking on different aspects like mindset, capital raising, best practices and trends, asset management, value add deals versus new construction deals and latest trends, lending space. So, and also favorable asset classes for passive investors point of view, which are the favorable asset classes next 2 to 5 years. Those kind of stuff we'll be focusing on this side at this time.
Excellent. Well, let's move on to the active investing. And I'd like to hear a little bit more about how you're investing, what you're investing in, and why. So we know that in 2023, we're recording this at the very beginning of the year. We've seen a lot of turmoil in the markets. A lot of people are talking about recession. Certainly, the economic landscape is different from other recessions. We don't see people losing their jobs quite yet. We're still not in a declared recession. And yet, most of us believe that bad things are about to happen. So what is your current investment thesis, and how have you changed it to navigate this stormy sea of our current macroeconomic condition?
So yeah, definitely from 2002, like from second quarter onwards, like, everything is changed. So from higher interest rates are increasing, like, anything crazy, like, so now we almost touched 6 or 7 range. So definitely that is impacting, deal flow. I see less deal flow like last 2 quarters in 2022. Same can expect next couple of quarters. So deal flow definitely impacting. So because of higher interest rates, it's impacting returns also. But from seller's point of view, the prices are not going down as expected. Still, like, sellers are expecting higher prices. So with that, with higher interest rates and higher asking price, deals are not working earlier. And also, like, from lending space, earlier we have good, bridge options, capex. If you go with bridge lending, you'll get, some capex options. So now with the higher interest rates, bridge is completely out of this one. So mostly we have to go with, agency, long-term agency debt. And with that, earlier, like, we used to get higher LTVs, around 70, 75 LTVs. Now, we are underwriting at 55 to 60 LTVs. And also we need to have more capex and more cash reserves to survive in this challenging environment next 12 to 18 months. So we're actively looking for good deals. So we are not hurrying. So if you find good deals with cash flow, good cash flow, like at least 5 to 7% cash on cash, at least IRR for above 40% IRR, AAR point of view, at least 18%. If you find good deals and good locations, still we'll go for that.
Yeah, makes sense. You mentioned locations. I would like to ask you if you've changed any of your markets or your focus as a result of our recent economic conditions.
So definitely we are not going to, tertiary markets and, coastal area markets, focusing on, mainly like secondary markets, surrounding to secondary markets like Raleigh, Charlotte, Greensboro, or Greenville, MSAs, where population at least 200 to 250K. So those kind of stuff. And also where there's growth corridor, like I-85 corridor from Raleigh to Atlanta. So we are focusing on those corridors and, emerging markets kind of stuff.
Yeah, great. Georgia and the Carolinas, I believe they were just mentioned by Lawrence Yun, NAR economist, who has a lot of good things to say about those markets. So Nice picks, interesting picks. You also mentioned underwriting a moment ago. Anything you'd like to go deeper into underwriting?
Yeah, definitely, so compared to last year or previous years underwriting, like now we are focusing on low LTVs. So definitely low LTVs and high cash reserves, and also underwriting with high interest rates. So and also so one important parameter is like exit cap rate. We also underwriting with a higher exit cap rates. So these are the things we are changing compared to previously. And remaining other factors will be same, but so always reaching out lender and getting quotes from lender, and also insurance broker and tax assessor, like what will be the real estate taxes next few years, those kind of stuff, before submitting LOIs, those kind of stuff we are taking care of.
Yeah, good stuff. I mean, to summarize, it's just you have to be more careful all around, more conservative, looking for potential pitfalls. Yes, a lot of markets right now, things to stay away from. Can't expect the LTV. A lot of things you can't expect that were very easy. Easy in the past, not easy anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I see that you've grown your business quite a bit from the outset. So you started in single family, you went to multifamily. Now you're doing multiple deals and so forth. Now, what were some of your growing pains as you grew your business, putting systems in place, etc.?
So yeah, definitely, the current market, finding good deals is definitely challenging phase. So we're not getting good deals, current markets, and deal flow is very, very, less. So we're trying to explore into multiple markets and collaborate with, identifying strategic partners and, collaborating with other sponsors in different markets. That is one thing I'm exploring. Second thing is capital side also, because of this high interest rates and this recession projection is impacting, capital raising point of view. Also will be identifying different strategies to, raise more capital upcoming this year and next years. Those things we are focusing. Yeah, mainly the other things we are, focusing right now.
So any specifics on those different capital raising strategies? I know certainly that's one thing I've noticed. The capital markets have tightened up a little bit. People might not want to lock in those losses. People a little less likely to pull the trigger on investments. It takes a lot longer to raise capital these days, it seems. What are you doing differently?
So yeah, so one of the way is exploring this using my virtual conference is one platform for me to raise capital. Other things are like maybe I'm starting some kind of courses around the passive investing side that will help teaching reaching more number of passive investors, those kind of stuff.
So I wonder, anything more extreme, like maybe bringing more partners into your deals, maybe having additional co-GPs, any of these things you've needed to resort to?
Yeah, definitely. So always looking for co-GPs and having that conversations with different capital raisers by attending more conferences, networking more investors in this space. Yeah.
That makes sense. I think
process. Yeah.
We're all pounding the pavement a little harder this year.
yeah, definitely, capitalizing is challenging, and so we are trying to allocate more allocation to capitalizing also.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, there are a few questions that I like to ask all of my guests. I call it my lightning round. You ready to enter the lightning round?
Yes.
All right, Rama, can you tell us something about one of your real estate markets that most people wouldn't know?
Maybe Greensboro. Not many know about Greensboro market.
Okay, as an emerging market, anything you want to say about maybe demographics or anything?
Yeah, demographics is in between Raleigh and Charlotte, so it's a good strategically positioned, and also there is a lot of stuff coming in this market also. Yeah.
Awesome. Give us some advice that you would give your younger self.
So identify your unique abilities and hyper focus on that abilities. Yeah.
Great. What's the best real estate advice you've ever received?
I mean, like focus on who, not how, So instead of focusing on how, if you focus on who, you will get your results better, faster.
Love it. And real estate is also a place where we have a lot of bad advice going around. What's the worst advice you've heard in real estate?
If you find good deal, money will come, that is, I think, not good advice. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
you need to build relationships, all this stuff. Yeah.
All right, great. Let's take a nod to the randomness in the universe. I've got some random question cards here. So just tell me when to stop cutting the deck. We'll take it from the top.
Yeah, that one.
All right. Where would you choose to live if you had to leave this country?
So maybe somewhere in Europe. I like, Europe, some beautiful places are there. So yeah.
All right, awesome. Well, now you have to give us some idea. Are we moving to Monaco or France, Germany?
Maybe Spain.
Okay, nice and warm, good weather. Hard to disagree with that choice.
Yeah.
All right. So I know you just did name one book. Name a book that's helped to forge you as a leader or as an entrepreneur, and why?
I read a lot of books. So one book, if I need to pick one book, maybe Joe Dispenza's Becoming Supernatural, I'll pick. So definitely that is impacting me more positively. So I'm following a lot of stuff from that book by Joe Dispenza.
Excellent. And how has a failure or misstep set you up for later success?
So definitely, earlier phases, I didn't do good due diligence. So now I'm focusing on more good due diligence. I need to do every aspect. So I need to do more preparation work. So finding right partners or finding good deals. So that is one thing I'm focusing right now.
Can you set us out with a quote to help forge our listeners as leaders and entrepreneurs?
So you're the creator of your own destiny. I like that quote from Vivekananda.
And how can we interact with you, meet you, invest with you? How should our listeners reach out?
So they can reach out me at ushacapital.com/podcast or info@ushacapital.com. And also I organize virtual conference, right? So it's multifamilyap360.com. That's how they can reach out to me.
Excellent. Well, Rama, I want to thank you for sharing your knowledge and experience with us today. It's been a great episode. Greatly appreciate this. And who knows, maybe we'll meet up at one of your virtual conferences in the future.
Thank you very much, Judge. Really enjoyed the conversation. Great questions. Thank you.
Thank you.